Let's strap in and take a long, winding road through the digital jungle, where the air's thick with hot takes and the ground's littered with the bones of cancelled streamers.
Question, but what advice would you give to someone looking to enter the political commentary scene when they are starting off at zero? We definitely need more people like you, but I feel it's so difficult to grow when you're starting with your audience. Do you just use bots to begin or whatever? I don't know, probably botting or some shit like that. You'd have to look into it. I truly don't know the answer anymore. I'm so sorry. The problem is that it used to be that, like, I feel like panels were the best way to do it. It was the best way to get new people on, to have like them get exposure to more audiences. Like that was always the best way to do it. But I'm basically the only large person that was ever willing to do any of that. Everybody else kind of pulls the ladder up once they've made it. So Vaush, Hassan, definitely not Asmongold. I don't think he ever has. Like, as soon as people get big, they don't want to do panels. They don't want to talk to smaller creators anymore. They just want to grow. So there's like, if you're a new political streamer now, I don't know where you go to find a new audience or to grow at all. It seems almost impossible. I feel like you'd have to start on YouTube making videos, but I don't know. Why don't you do panels? I mean, I did. What do you mean? I still kind of did. I'm not going forward because all these guys, but is this an ego thing? I think it's more like it's partially an ego thing. It's partially a protection thing. Like, why would I ever risk losing a debate to a no-name? And I think it's partially a like a clout thing. Like, why would I go and share my audience with a bunch of less clouded people when I could only talk to more clouded people?
Me, like, look, you stop.
Destiny, sitting in his gaming chair like it's a throne carved from the ashes of bad arguments. He's the internet's debate gladiator, a man who'd argue with a cloud about why it's raining wrong. But today, he's not swinging his rhetorical sword. He's looking out at the horizon, voice heavy with the kind of weariness you get when you've seen too many Twitter threads spiral into madness. Someone asked him how to break into the political commentary game, and Destiny, God bless him, sounds like a farmer who just watched his crops get flattened by a tornado. He don't have an answer, not a real one. And that's where this story starts, with a man who used to believe in the hustle, now starring at a world where the ladder has been yanked up by the very folks he helped climb. Let's talk about activism, or at least the version of it that lives online, where every tweet's a Molotov cocktail and every stream's a sermon. Destiny's been in the trenches, building platforms, hosting panels, giving smaller creators a shot to shine. Back in the day, he was like a small-town mayor, open the doors of City Hall so everybody could have a say. Panels were his bread and butter, a digital town square where new voices could spar with the big dogs and maybe steal a few fans. It was messy, sure. Half the time it was like herding cats with a laser pointer, but it worked. People got exposure, audiences grew, and the whole ecosystem felt alive, like a forest after a good rain. But now, that forest has been clear-cut and Destiny's standing in the middle of the stumps wondering where it all went wrong. The big names, Vaush Hasanabi, the rock stars of leftist Twitch, ain't interested in panels anymore. They've climbed the mountain, planted their flags, and dynamited the path behind M. Destiny calls it pulling the ladder up, and he ain't wrong. It's like they got to the top of the roller coaster and decided nobody else gets to ride. Vaush, with his galaxy brain takes and his I'm smarter than you smirk, used to be a scrappy up-and-comer riding Destiny's coattails to relevance. Hassan, built like a linebacker who reads theory, was out there grinding too back when his streams looked like they were shot in a broom closet. But now, they're too big to share the spotlight, too big to risk a debate with some no-name who might land a lucky punch, too big to care about the little guy. As a liberal, this stings like a bee in your boot. We're supposed to be the ones building bridges, lifting folks up, macking sure everybody gets a seat at the table. But Vaush and Hassan, they're acting like the billionaires they're always railing against, hoarding their clout like it's gold in a vault. It's betrayal, plain and simple, not just of Destiny, but of the whole idea of activism. You don't get to scream about systemic inequality and then gatekeep the very platform that gave you a voice. That's not progress, that's hypocrisy with a better haircut. And Destiny, for all his flaws, and Lord knows he's got M, like a porcupine's got quills, he's the only one still trying to keep the door open. He's out here hosting panels, talking risks, while the cool kids sip their artisanal coffee and pretend the little guys don't exist. Let's dig into this betrayal, cause it's juicier than a peach in July. Destiny's not just mad, he's hurt. You can hear it in his voice like a dog that got kicked by its owner. Vaush and Hassan didn't just climb the ladder, they set it on fire and danced around the flames. Back when they were nobodies, Destiny was the one jivin', a stage lettin' spar with him, expossin' to his audience. He was like a big brother teaching how to ride a bike, only to watch pedal off and never look back. Now they're out there racking in subscribers, selling merch and acting like they invented the internet. And Destiny, he's left holding the bag, wondering why his old pals don't return his calls. Vaush is the worst offender, and I say that as a liberal who wants to believe in redemption. The guy's got a brain like a supercomputer, but his ego's the size of a small planet. He used to be Destiny's sparring partner back when they'd go toe-to-toe on panels, and the chat would light up like a fireworks show. But once Vaush got big, he turned into the kind of guy who'd rather monologue than debate. He's not sharing his platform with some random YouTuber who's got 12 subscribers and a dream. Hassan's a different beast, but just as guilty. He's the guy who looks like he could deadlift a car while explaining why capitalism's a scam. Back in the day, he was grinding alongside Destiny, building his audience one stream at a time. But now, he's a rock star, and rock stars don't jam with the garage band. Hassan's too busy selling Eat the Rich hoodies to bother with panels. He's got his aesthetic on lock, perfect lighting, perfect angles, perfect biceps, and he ain't about to let some scrappy newbie steal his shine. It's not just ego, it's strategy. Why share the spotlight when you can hog it? Why risk a bad debate when you can just rant to your adoring fans? Hassan's not betraying Destiny out of malice. He's doing it 'cause that's how the game's played now. And that's what makes it worse. Destiny sees through it all, and he's calling it like he sees it. Ego, protection, clout. He breaks it down like a mechanic talking apart a busted engine. These guys aren't just avoiding panels 'cause they're busy. They're doing it 'cause they're scared of losing, scared of sharing, scared of anything that might dent their shiny brands. And as a liberal, I'm sitting here nodding along, but also feeling that ache in my chest. This ain't just about streaming, it's about what happens when people get a taste of power. They stop building communities and start building empires. They stop lifting others up and start stepping on to stay on top. It's the oldest story in the book, just with better Wi-Fi. But let's not saint Destiny just yet. He's no martyr sitting on a hill weeping for the lost souls of Twitch. The guy's got his own ego, sharper than a butcher's knife. He loves the fight, loves the clout, loves Bane, the one who's right. He's out here saying he's the only big name still doing panels, and while that's true, it's also a flex. He's painting himself as the lone hero, the last cowboy riding into town to save the day. And maybe he is, but let's not kid ourselves. He's also in it for the glory. Destiny's not hosting panels out of pure altruism. He's doing it 'cause he knows he can win, knows he can outsmart the no-names and come out looking like a genius. It's activism, sure, but it's activism with a side of swagger. Still, there's something noble about it, like a farmer planting seeds even though he knows the frost is common. Destiny's trying to keep the ecosystem alive, trying to give new voices a chance, even as the big dogs circle their wagons. And when he talks about how hard it is for new creators to break through now, you can feel the weight of it. The game's changed. The internet used to be a wild frontier where anybody with a webcam and a hot take could make it big. Now it's a walled garden, and the gatekeepers, Vaush, Hassan, all of are holding the keys. Destiny's not just mourning the loss of panels. He's mourning the loss of that open, chaotic, democratic spirit that made online activism feel like a revolution. As a liberal, I'm reflecting on this like it's a parable. Activism's supposed to be about collective struggle, about tearing down barriers and building something better. But what happens when the activists become the elite? What happens when the folks preaching equality start acting like kings? Vaush and Hassan aren't just betraying Destiny, they're betraying the very ideals they claim to stand for. They're out here talking about solidarity while practicing selfishness. And Destiny, for all his sharp edges, is the one reminding us that real activism means talking risks, sharing the stage, and maybe, just maybe, letting someone else have a turn at the mic. Let's zoom out, 'cause this ain't just about three dudes and their streaming drama. This is about the world we're living in, where clout's the new currency and everybody's scrambling for a piece. The internet's a carnival, and we're all barkers shouting to be heard over the noise. Destiny's out here trying to keep the games fair, while Vaush and Hassan are running the rigged booths, talking your quarters and giving you nothing but a cheap stuffed bear. And as a liberal, I'm laughing at the absurdity of it, but I'm also feeling that pang of hope. Maybe there's still a way to build something real, something that lasts, even in this circus of egos and algorithms. So here's to Destiny, the guy who's still fighting the good fight, even if he's doing it with a smirk and a spreadsheet. Here's to the betrayal of Vaush and Hassan, a reminder that even the best of us can lose our way. And here's to the dream of activism, battered but not broken, still flickering like a candle in a storm. We're all just trying to make a dent in the universe, one stream at a time.